Yeah, man. So we recently saw a massive shutdown of Facebook and Instagram this past week. I believe it was this past week. Yep, this past week. What does this mean for musicians?
Firstly, let's go over the shutdown so you guys can pin this as our opinion. My opinion. I'm not going to speak for Tyree. All right. So, first of all, they had this whistleblower, in air quotes for those listening on podcasts. A whistleblower goes on mainstream media, which at that point, can you really trust them? They're on mainstream media right now. And then the same day, Facebook, Instagram go down because I guess this is shocking to everybody, apparently to nobody, was that Facebook allows negative content to be shown on your timeline. Like, who is that shocking to? Like, Facebook and Instagram posts are detrimental to mental health of a lot of teenagers.
Right. Oh,
Okay. Like, everybody knew this,
Right.
first of all. So this is not big, shocking stuff. If you ask me, which we've talked about many, many times, it's an attempt, it's a setup for down the line to say that we need more censorship of people. Like, oh, they allowed this content to keep going, and we knew that they did this, and like, give me a break.
Right.
Like, this is just another censorship attempt. And for those that really cannot open their eyes enough to see, like, first of all, a lot of people like censorship.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea why. Like, they just like being told what to do and think. But for those of us that don't and can kind of see what's going on or are opposed to what's going on, the attempt to censor more people's speech with, I don't know, right now they have a system where it's independent, again in air quotes, fact checkers, telling everybody essentially what's true and not. Like, people have enough, at least I think, enough people may have enough sense to just, I don't know, evaluate information for themselves.
Yeah.
But that is my opinion on the matter. All right, so that's step one. Step two, what this would mean for musicians, diversify your content. Diversify where you're putting your posts, your music, all that stuff.
Exactly.
This is not just to say, like, pull all your stuff off Facebook and Instagram today. All right, I'm not in that camp. But you should be diversifying and looking for decentralized solutions. Such as one of them would be Audius is a decentralized music streaming platform. So whenever a company, cryptos are just software companies, all right? And they are saying that it is more beneficial to not only us, but to the consumer for us to have our protocol and white papers available to the public. Our ledgers, the blockchain is a public ledger where I can download a copy of the blockchain and say that, all right, all these transactions that happened are verifiable because everybody else is looking at that blockchain from the first transaction that happens and verifying that that first transaction is linked to the Genesis transaction, the second one's linked to the first one, the third one's linked to the second, so on and so forth. That's why it's called a chain, a blockchain.
Right.
All right? And everybody can have this copy, and if something goes wrong on one of those transactions, like something looks off, or that you try to go back and change something, like everybody's just like, all right, that's off. Like, we're not with this transaction. And it's good for everybody because it keeps everybody on their toes. When power's too centralized, everybody's not on their toes. It's only the people who are not in power who are on their toes. Like when IG shuts down or Facebook decides they want to ban people or tell people that, hey, here's our independent fact checkers. They say you can't post this and we know it's not independent. Like it's, I don't want to say it's too much in one place, but we've allowed it to be run poorly and still supported it.
Right.
So if it's run poorly, then people need to have enough say within themselves that if there's a better solution out there, at least start to draw more attention to the other solutions. That's why you hear us talk about other platforms. We're not saying hop off today, but definitely diversify your spend, which we've been saying.
Yeah.
And honestly, you're not finding that a lot of other channels, just because maybe personally in my own journey, I've started to like look more into finance and how like financial systems actually work and how economies actually work and how the news media actually works and government actually works, and see the optimal solution is not just to centralize all powers in this one place where they just pretty much just get to dictate everything that you can do. Like I can hop off of Facebook, or I can say something that I think is true and like would possibly get us banned, but is it wise of me to do if like, you know, they yank our ad account and essentially maybe I would, like in the future, I wouldn't be able to hire as many people, right?
Right.
So
right.
it's putting people in this position where, yeah, I agree that Facebook should have as much freedom of speech as my own company, and they should have more competition. So the shutdown means one, you can have your own thoughts and opinions. I won't put mine on you. Those are just mine. So I think that it means they would want more censorship down the line. Secondly, I prefer if there were a decentralized solution. So I could tell people just go to TikTok and, you know, go to Gab and Rumble and Parler or whatever else where they still have a centralization. They're just saying, hey, our centralization is more favorable to you. But all those, they're still centralized.
Right.
And whenever it's decentralized, it's more favorable for everybody.
Right.
All right. And usually those are going to be tied to a crypto, and you can buy in a whole lot. Like, well, the government's trying to put their paws on everything with that now too. But historically, it has been that it is a more favorable solution to, or people see it as more favorable to, like investing in a stock or something. You can get similar returns on both of them.
Right.
But it's better overall whenever you have a currency that is open versus a stock where it's still centralized in the United States dollar.
Right.
That's just to me.
Yeah.
Not saying don't have any stock.
Right.
Just start to allocate more of your time and attention. Like if you're doing 80% of Facebook, YouTube, Google, Microsoft ads, TikTok ads, like all of that, maybe start to look at like 10 or 20% of your time into these other solutions, this other growing economy, other people having their own currencies, and you shift now 10% of your currency. If you have some left over, you shift now that 10% over into these decentralized buckets.
Yep.
Of not even being biased towards ours, but hey, here's the rally coin, or here's the here's Bitcoin, here's Ethereum, here's Solana, here's all of them, right? Start to see which ones make the most sense to you, and you can read through the white papers and get a good idea of what you align yourself with. So it's no longer that I have to be aligned with all these centralized authorities. I can choose to, if I want to, I can move to a place where they are kind of, laissez-faire and don't have their paws and everything, like Singapore. If I want to.
Yeah.
Well, right now, we live in the United States where I can go leave if I want, but who knows, it will now change.
Right.
So those are my thoughts on the shutdown. Do you feel free to add anything if you got anything?
Well, I mean, I agree with you, man. I think a lot of this, for me, it kind of should make artists consider, kind of like you said at the beginning, more alternative approaches to housing their content, housing their music, and distributing it. Man, I'm about to go back to selling CDs out the trunk, brother. I'm about to go back to tangible distribution
Nah, you gotta
myself.
have if you have your coin, you set it up.
Yeah,
if it's you set it up off a decentralized protocol.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't have to create your entire crypto. You can do it's what's called an ERC20 token.
Okay.
You make your own token off of Ethereum's technology.
Okay.
All right, that's one route that you can do. The problem you have with that is that, or off of, I'm pretty sure you can make a Solana side token, but I'm not sure yet. The problem with that is that you have to go get listed on exchanges in order for people to have liquidity for your coin and all that other stuff. Reason why we set ours up with Rally is that they already have everything set up for people. It makes it easier for the people, as well as, later on down the line, if we got big enough, we could be listed on the other exchanges.
Right.
So that is why we did it. But we would have more control over our currency if I decided that we wanted to do a separate token that we have to go hire developers for, get liquidity, come up with our own system.
Right,
You can't
right.
do that. It's just a little. It's going to take a lot more time, a lot more money, way harder. Rally is like the best solution for now. But yeah, that's the rundown of it, man.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.